What's going on, all you wild horror fanatics? It's your two favorite Cinephellas boys back here doing another movie review. And tonight we're going to be talking about Alex Garland's brand new horror film, Men.
What are
Men. Alex Garland, one of my favorite genre directors, most notorious for sci-fi films, Ex-MACHINA, Annihilation. He did the show Devs on FX. But this time around, he's going for more of a folk horror approach with the brand new film Men. And it was something that really blew my mind. It's a movie that's way out there. I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but essentially the setup is you have Harper, played by Jessie Buckley. She goes through a traumatic event with her husband. She goes out to the English countryside to get away, to unwind, to grieve, and she has this new sort of freedom with her life. And she gets introduced to the estate's owner, Jeffrey, played by Rory Kinnear, that plays many characters in this film, shows around the house, and then sets up the rest of the film.
All right, so hold on. I need some of this.
I understand. It's a movie that'll make you drink.
Yes. All right, so, like you, I like Alex Garland. I like Devs. I thought that was one of the best things during the pandemic. It was actually kind of a treat to have that during the pandemic, because every week I got to look forward to something, and I thought he did a hell of a job with that premise. Ex-MACHINA is great. He wrote Sunshine, and I don't know if you know, or any of our viewers know, that he actually directed Dread. He shadowed.
Really?
Yes, he ghost directed it. Even though it's on the poster on the film, I don't know who directed it, but it's known around Hollywood, that he picked it up, and because the original director who got the credit couldn't do it. Like, it was just too much for him. I guess he was a novice and he thought he was able to take that on. But if you think about it, Logan, now start thinking about that movie, you can definitely see that's an Alex Garland movie with the colors and
Yes.
effects. Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought the premise was good in this movie. I thought the cinematography was good. Buckley and Kinnear, who I actually want to watch Penny Dreadful now, because
Yes.
I thought he was really cool. I thought he was really good in this movie.
He's so good in Penny Dreadful. He plays Frankenstein.
Does he play like a villain, or does he play like a hero in that?
He kind of starts off as a villain, and then he gets to know his character more, and he's more of like a good guy. But yeah, he's really good.
Well, I thought the premise is good, and I saw it with like 4 other people, and one of the guys I saw it with before the movie started, he choked on a piece of popcorn. He had to go into the bathroom, and he came back in. And at the end of the movie, he's like, "I kind of wish the popcorn took me out."
Wow, it was that bad for you guys.
We all did not like it, and as I said, the production value is great, the acting was great, but it's just, I think he just basically went too far with it. And I understand that he's had a hell of a track record, and the better track record you have in Hollywood, the less they bother you, and the less chains you have on you. It was just a mess, in my opinion. It was just all over the place. I know what he was trying to do. I understand. I admire it. It reminded me of Mother. If you remember that movie from 2017, yes, it reminded me of that. But I thought Darren Aronofsky did a lot better job with what he was trying to do, like kind of the religious folklore, than Garland did in this movie, especially those last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I won't spoil it for our viewers, but I kind of want to watch. I kind of want to watch. Have you guys watch it, but it's so weird.
Yeah, it's worth at least one viewing, just in terms of A24 Alex Garland doing something, his most ambitious film to date.
Yes.
Very, very unique. It is much like the movie you're talking about, Mother, which I didn't like. I thought this.
I kind of like it.
A lot of people did like it. I just didn't really care for it all that much. It just didn't grab me. But I thought this movie, the first 2 acts are really fantastic. Like you said, beautifully shot, like always. The color palettes, like he always uses, the red walls in the house and the super bright green out in the forest behind me. It's like a long tunnel where she first comes across one of the men, basically, that the people that are stalking her, sees it at the end of the tunnel, comes after her. She tries to get away, comes across this other character, basically all different iterations of Rory Kinnear's characters, basically. He's playing all these different men in the film. So there's a lot of symbolic meaning in this. There's a lot of themes in here. And that's really what Garland is going for. Just maybe not greatly executed.
And the cinema score, I looked it up, and it's it has a 4 out of 10, and I understand, because as I was watching the movie even before I gave it what I'll say at the end of the review, that I just knew that this is not a movie that people are going to connect with. This isn't like a Marvel movie or a superhero movie or an action movie or feel good comedy. It's weird, and it asks a lot from you, and you just said about I need a drink after watching this movie.
Pretty much. But if you look at it this way, A24, they always do something different. That's what's great about A24. They're very unique films. This is a very unique film. It takes a lot of chances. It has a lot of great stuff it throws at you, but it makes you think, and that's why I like A24. It doesn't really give you a straight answer. There's a lot of heavy-handed themes and things, mythology, and having to do with the colors and men and women, and there's a lot of theories and stuff out there what it's really about. But that's A24. They don't put out normal movies, which I always appreciate.
Yeah, I admire they swung for the fences, but in my opinion, they struck out. They struck out on 3 pitches. But I do like Jessie Buckley a lot, and I thought she's very good at projecting the horrors of what she went through. Obviously we're not saying what happens to her husband, but she's very realistic, and it's just them two. It's just Kinnear and Buckley mostly, besides the friend who's mostly on the cell phone most of the movie. And it's this is a COVID movie. It's just like, okay, this is how we're gonna make a COVID movie. It's just 2 people. Like this, the set, the catering must have been very cheap on this movie, because it's really just them two the entire time. And I kind of like that. I thought, I would like to see Buckley and Kinnear, together again, maybe on another project. Something, in my opinion, more well done than this one was.
Yeah, I never thought about that. This probably is a COVID movie. They probably filmed this during the pandemic. Not a lot of people probably on set. A few actors, actresses. Middle of nowhere in England, in the countryside. So yeah, it probably makes sense. I didn't think about that, but yeah, again, it's an ambitious movie. Alex Garland tried some things here, and didn't completely work out to his advantage. He wanted to do something different. Didn't necessarily work. I think it was just too out there. And yeah, the third act makes you think. But one thing I do want to bring up, Harper's husband, basically he dies, and she's dealing with all that, and also dealing with abuse, with some flashback scenes with her husband. The guy that plays her husband, James Papa Asudu, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he's the actor in Gangs of London, which I really love, one of my new favorite shows.
Okay. I was wondering where he was from.
He plays one of the higher ups in the mob, basically the gang in London. So he's a big part of the show. He's really great in that. So
good. Okay, so
highly recommend it. Yeah, he's a big part of that show. I saw the trailer for season 2. He's obviously going to be in it. So he's a good actor, an actor you should keep an eye out for. But in this movie, he didn't have much to do, but he does play a very convincing asshole, abusive husband, a controlling husband. Like, he does that well. So, like, again, throwing some themes and messages here. There's a lot going on with Harper and how she's dealing with the aftermath of that, and also getting freedom, being able to breathe and go away, and then coming across all these men in the middle of nowhere that are pretty much trying to kill her.
Yeah, I thought, as I said at the beginning, like, I thought the atmosphere was well done. Like, the image behind you, Jessie Buckley in that tunnel, I love that scene. And it was creepy that when she was calling out and doing the echoes with her voice, and then I assume it was Rory Kinnear on the other side, he doesn't run. He just kind of briskly walks. Like, because in most horror movies, like, that person on the other side of the tunnel would just sprint towards them.
Yeah, Michael Myers.
Yes, he was kind of just doing a little fast jog, and I thought that was effective. I was like, oh my God, this is kind of a little bit of creep factor going on with him. And even when he wasn't playing the folklore character, the other characters, there was just something off, especially the guy behind you, who was, I guess, was the housekeeper, the owner of the house.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
The teeth, he utilized those teeth so well. Like, yeah, you see those teeth. Yeah. And like, he did that nervous laugh all the time when he didn't know what to say, or he was just uncomfortable. And yeah, I want to watch Penny Dreadful now. I've been wanting to watch it, but now that I've seen this movie and I see him, and I admired his performance, even though I didn't care for the movie, I'll definitely put Penny Dreadful on the list now.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good actor. Keep an eye out for. I liked him in the James Bond movies, the Daniel Craig ones too. He had a smaller part, but he was good. But
who was he? Was he in the
he worked for the agency. He was like, I don't even know what his like role was, but he worked Ralph Fiennes' character. I don't know if he's like an assistant or whatever, but he's in the movies, the newer ones.
If I saw a picture of him, yeah, I'll look up. after we do this. But yeah, I probably would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, he was really good. Good actor. Keep an eye out for. Going back to this, there's a lot of like fertility mythology behind this with the color schemes, the emerald green forests and the red walls. And there's like an apple tree in the beginning, much like Adam and Eve, the way I took it at least. There's always like these dandelion seeds floating in the air. And then the green man guy, which is creepy and weird, that I never felt like I fully understood what that was about.
You know, as I said, you know, I knew what he was going for, but I thought it's been done there before. But you know, I'm not going to hate on Garland's. He's, you know, every project he's done I liked. Every director we know has a movie I don't like or care for on their resume. So, you know, I'm sure that he'll bounce back from this.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to go back to sci-fi, where he's really good at. Really not. He tried the horror genre, probably just didn't work for him. Not a good fit. But you know, this is a slow build of, you know, unsettling dread, everything going on in this film, what Harper's coming across, leading up into England and everything she's dealing with internally, and trying to come out on top and dealing with all these assholes and men versus women and a men-driven world. And you know, it was very ambitious that he tried, but I don't think it overall really worked. The first two acts were really great build up.
Yeah.
Again, great cinematography, color schemes. I thought the performances were really top notch, and just the third act lost me, like most people. It tried to do something different. I'm still thinking about it. I talked to my buddy in Vegas. It's a critic out there for Nerd Locker, and he's with us. You know, he liked the first two acts. Third act is scratching her head.
I'm sure there's some mythology, symbolism, religious stuff about that act, but it just fell apart. It didn't make sense. It felt like Garland was just throwing everything at the wall in the last 20 minutes of that film. And I'm like sitting there, and my friends and I were all like, what the hell is going on here? And even the people in the theater that weren't with us, you heard the what the hell, the laughing, and the general confusion of, you know, that last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's trying to go at rebirth and getting another chance in life and starting over. I think that's what a lot of it has to do, but I'll just leave it at that. But you know, I give Alex Garland kudos for trying something different. A24 always putting out unique films, which I appreciate. It's not a superhero movie or, you know, Fast and the Furious 15. It's something different. It's much like an art house film, so it's going to be very divisive. People are going to love it or hate it. You know, I don't think there's an in between. But the first two acts I had a good time with, and I'm still thinking about the third act. And it's a movie I'll probably have to revisit and watch closer to see if I can understand everything. I think a lot of it was kind of confusing and made you think a little too much. But really, some powerhouse performances here. Jessie, Buckley, Rory, Kinnear, really, really great. They were the two main characters in the film. They worked great off one another, you know, even though Rory Kinnear kind of played evil assholes.
CGI his face onto the kid. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, and then the mask.
Gaslighting the movie. They all tried to make it like it was her fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a movie I'm gonna have to rewatch. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Alex Garland's brand new film from A24 a 3 out of 5 Rory Kinnear hair pieces.
Wow. I am giving it 1.5 out of 5.
Whoa. They did you wrong, didn't they?
Yes, they did me wrong. But again, it's Garland, and you know, I'm sure he'll bounce back he'll probably do something bigger next time, not something so intimate and small. And this movie, for all you guys out there, has the shortest ending credits I've ever seen, because you know, only 3 people worked on this movie. So the ending credits are probably like, I said, usually they're like 10 to 15 minutes. They were over in like 8 minutes, because my friends and I were sitting there talking, and the credits rolled, and you know, it was over pretty quickly. I'm like, wow.
Well, we're interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on the brand new film Men. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild boys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news and reviews. And of course, our YouTube channel right here. We're always putting out brand new videos, movie, TV reviews, podcasts, interviews, and all that fun stuff. This is your 2 favorite wild Cinephellas boys signing out from the beautiful green pastures of England until the next movie review. Cheers!